I'm meteorologist Carley Gomez with the latest on your weather impact alert for the weekend of February 1st. We are expecting a series of storms to begin moving in, the first one on Friday to Saturday, and then we may have a few more rolling into next week. We're going to focus on the first one. As we move into the weekend, several storms are going to be causing some impacts, but it's going to be this first one Friday night through early Sunday morning that'll be bringing in some rain as well as that Sierra snowfall. What we can expect here is that Friday to Saturday, we'll see some of the heaviest rain, especially through those overnight hours and into Saturday afternoon. That's going to be where we see some very heavy downpours expected. That valley rain will continue to add up to as much as a ½ inch to maybe even an1.5 inches of rain through Sunday morning. We are also expecting Sierra snowfall to begin moving in as of Friday night. Now, what we're going to expect on Friday is really it's going to start off in the morning, then gradually continue to build off throughout the day. And then with the snowfall, we're going to see a lot of cold air still coming in. So we'll see that snow accumulation happen rather quickly before we start seeing things fall apart. So I'll get to all of that in just a sec. But what you need to know from Friday to Saturday is that you need to just drive safely, carefully, and give yourself enough time to get to your destination. A lot of people have plans on Fridays to head out, to go to Tahoe, to go on trips, that kind of thing. We are expecting a very windy start to that day as that cold front rolls in. Then an increasing rainfall as well as snowfall in the Sierra. Your need is to also clear those drains early, and that means you have all of Thursday to do so before that rain is set to arrive on Friday morning. In the meantime, the high pressure is in place, and that's allowing very cold air to move in. That's coming in from the Gulf of Alaska here, and that's continued to do so all week. We've been feeling those temperatures below freezing point, frost all over the grass. We've been looking at it on our windshields as well. We are going to continue to see some freezing temperatures still into Thursday morning, but right behind it, that is where we have the low pressure system. And not only the low, but that cold front here is going to begin tapping in that low, tapping into an atmospheric river just north of the Hawaiian Islands, a Pineapple Express, if you will. But that is going to bring in a lot of moisture with it as it targets and gets wrapped around this low pressure here. Those bands will move onshore for us by Friday morning and then continue on into your Saturday. We are looking at a freeze warning south of Modesto for areas of Merced County toward the Central Valley until 9 a.m. Again, we are looking at very cold temperatures at or below freezing point there. We're also going to expect to see increasing dense fog into your early morning hours. So visibility will also be limited. We're talking down to about 1/3 of a mile for a lot of spots and even down to about a mile for areas like Tracy. But it's mostly going to be off 99 and then where it connects also near I-5. Just toward Yuba City and then toward the Bay Area. So you're looking at about Thursday, 7:30 a.m. Still some pretty thick fog for that morning commute. And finally, by lunchtime, most areas should see decreasing fog. I want to talk about where we are in the water year. How much rain have we got? But we did get quite a bit of rain in November. November to December, we were really leading the way here for more of that rainfall, especially from areas of Sacramento North. We were doing so well. Then we hit January, very dry January, almost nothing in sight. And that has dropped our normal numbers here, normal precipitation all the way down to really lacking almost 2 inches of rainfall for Sacramento, lacking 4 3/4 inches for South Lake Tahoe and water, 2.5 inches Stockton. Now, these are just ballpark estimates, but pretty close to spot on to where we're looking at right now, but where we also should be. We really should be gathering more than 2 inches of rain in these spots already. January tends to be one of the wettest months of our winter season, and we really lacked that rain for January. Now, as we start pushing to February, we may start to see some of those changes happening, and they're happening pretty quickly, kicking off the month with some showers and some Sierra snowfall. Timing this out for you Friday morning, 6:30 a.m. You're noticing that cold front arrive, and that's bringing in that rain for the coastline first, some lighter drizzle and cloud coverage into that morning commute. And then finally, look at the Sierra here, very white there up top. We are going to begin seeing some snow. This is going to be closer to about 6,000 feet or so at first. Then we're actually going to see the snow line retreating, moving up the mountain at higher elevations moving into Saturday. Take a look here. Saturday, 10 a.m., we're also getting more of that heavy rain pushing through, as you can see in the dark spots there, indicating heavier rain. But you notice that white you saw previously on Friday for snowfall is more of a winter mix now as we move into Saturday. And that snow line is continuing to move up in elevation to around 7,000 feet, then eventually 8,000 feet, and then eventually no snow line. We're going to be looking into Sunday in the overnight hours, Saturday night into Sunday morning. This all begins to turn to rain. This is very warm. I mentioned to you the Hawaiian Islands, where that atmospheric river is coming from. A lot of that moisture is very warm. We got a lot of that cold air for the last week, and that helped bring that moisture to really turn into snowfall with that cold air. But now that we see a lot of cloud coverage rolling in, that atmospheric river starting to deliver more moisture, we're looking at that snow line disappearing and becoming rain as the overnight hours continue into Sunday morning, 3:30 a.m. Very heavy at times in areas near Quincy, just there east of Chico and Yuba City. You see some of that heavy rain downpour expected, as well as some foothill spots, I should say, as well as coastal areas. And finally, as we start moving on to your Sunday afternoon, we're going to see that rain ease up for you. Mostly cloudy skies. And then we'll continue to see most of this rain. It's very light here, maybe a sprinkle into your Sunday evening. Otherwise, it'll remain near the coastline and the foothills, especially north of 80. And then finally, by Monday, we're actually looking at a little bit of a break from the rain until we start hitting Monday night. By around 7:30, we'll expect more of that rain to begin arriving, as well as some of that Sierra snow Monday into Tuesday. And check out Tuesday is actually expected to be pretty wet there. A lot of heavy rain and downpours expected Tuesday to Wednesday, with more Sierra snow expected as well. This time, as that second storm system arrives into the start of the work week in February, we're actually going to start seeing some of that snow line dropping a little bit more. So that'll be some better news as opposed to the weekend, where that snow then becomes slush because of all that heavy rain that comes in right after. Then finally, moving toward that following Friday, we could expect to see potentially another storm system arriving. So it'll be back to back. Just take a look here. The first atmospheric river from Friday starts to come in, but check out the massive plume right behind it. That is a lot of moisture that is headed our way. And watch as it moves in for Saturday, becoming heavy and warm. Because of how warm it is, as I mentioned, that snow line disappears and becomes rainfall instead of snow by Saturday night into Sunday morning. Then we get a small break Sunday. Then by Monday, Tuesday to Wednesday, there's the next atmospheric river pushing in with another low pressure system expected to bring us and deliver more rain as well as snowfall. So far, I want to preface all of this by saying our rainfall totals have truly been all over the place in the last few days, trying to predict how much rain is actually in these atmospheric rivers, because the European model is showing much different numbers than the global model. The global model is showing some of these numbers as much as 3 inches around Sacramento. That is a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. We even saw some of these numbers in the foothills, upwards of 7 inches of rain. That is pretty far off for about a 24 to 36 hour period of rainfall. The European model looks to be in better alignment with the actual numbers we could be seeing from Friday through Sunday morning, which could be anywhere from about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain, maybe pushing up to 2 inches for some spots, especially at that line there between Roseville and Sacramento, and then some of the foothills up to 3 inches. Now, again, this is a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time, so we'll definitely be seeing some roadways, beginning to see some ponding on the roads, as well as flooding potentially, especially if you do not clear your drains out. You want to make sure everything is clearing out of those drains so you don't get a lot of that flooding into your property as well. All right, let's talk snowfall totals. This has also been pretty off from the global model to the European model. Global models want to put some of these numbers upwards of 61 inches. I even saw one say 81 as of just a day ago, 24 hours before recording this for you. But again, the European model now showing a little bit better alignment with what we could be seeing from Friday to Saturday, which is anywhere from about 5 inches to maybe about a foot, maybe a 1.5 feet of snowfall. But remember, by Saturday night, that snow line changes. It begins moving way up there and becomes non-existent. So when it's all said and done, that snowfall total could really vary. We could get as much as a 1.5 feet of snow, but when that rain pushes through, it could really drop it down to maybe a foot, maybe 8 inches. So again, we're really gonna have to see. All you need to know is it's gonna be very wet. We're going to see a lot of areas where we may see some ponding on the roadways, and it could be difficult to drive in. And again, Friday through most of your Saturday, pretty much the entire day of your Saturday, and then potentially late into at least mid-morning hours Sunday. All right, looking here at our foothill temperatures, we're going to be right around the mid-50s, a couple of low 50s, but otherwise still very cold overnight lows Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Thursday morning temperatures around 29, 27 degrees for Twain Harte and Arnold. We'll be looking at about 14 degrees overnight in Truckee. Bay Area temperatures mid to upper 50s, but still pretty cold overnight again in those mid 30s. And then for the valley, as we move into Thursday morning, we're looking at temperatures still right around those mid-30s overnight. 35 in Modesto and Turlock, Patterson 36, daytime highs in the upper 50s, which is actually average for this time of year. We're usually around 57, 58 degrees, the average temperature. So we'll continue that trend. But Thursday is really the last day you really have to get anything done before that rain arrives early on Friday morning. Then your Friday morning commute will be impacted, as well as most of your outdoor plans Saturday, as we're going to continue to see that heavy rainfall throughout the day. Finally, by Sunday, we have some leftover rain in just the early morning hours there, but most of your Sunday afternoon, evening should just see mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy again for your Monday before that rain arrives late Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then these temperatures still in the upper 50s. But you know what? You can actually say goodbye to freezing temperatures, because as we start rolling past the weekend, we're seeing our overnight lows around 50 degrees. So at least that'll save a little bit on your heating and electricity bills out there, as a lot of people have been trying to stay warm the last few days. But as we move toward that following weekend, it looks like we may see a little bit of sunshine returning. But again, the overnight lows then may be dropping back down into the mid-30s.